Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here, welcome back to the channel for another update on Bitcoin. So the next major move for Bitcoin looks like it's being confirmed right now. The markets are absolutely melting today as we're falling and rejecting from some pretty significant charts and patterns. We'll talk about all of this and more today, so let's dive right into today's video. Now, in our last update, we talked about over here, 200 million liquidated. We gave you a price target to focus on in the immediate short term for Bitcoin. This was down here, the bar pattern price target at 27,800. And you can see, if we come over to the 1 hour time frame, in the past hour or two, we tagged this price target beautifully and then got an absolute nuke to the downside of this. So we hit the price target we talked about in the previous video. Let's now focus on a new price target. But before we talk about this new price target, there's two things that I do want to talk about. Number one, if we come over to the Bitcoin CME futures, you can see we've also fallen through and filled this price gap formed on the 7th of April at 28,000. If we also come over to this chart, this is a chart pattern that we've not talked about before. This is a rising wedge that's been forming since late January. Basically all of 2023, we've been in this ascending formation, bouncing up and down within this rising wedge or rising triangle, whatever you want to call it. As we know, these have a stronger likelihood of breaking to the downside. What did we do? We formed a red, green, red formation this week and confirmed that major breakdown to the downside. So what is the next price target that we now need to focus on now that we're getting this confirmation of all of these major rejections? Well, it's actually down here. We've talked about this one before. This is a CME gap at 24,860. So basically 25,000. If we come over to this chart, once again, you can also see if we draw a support box from right down here to where the candle body closes are, and also right up here to the wicks, you can see we have a support range between 25,300 all the way down to about 24,900. So this is right on / above the price target of this CME gap down here. So I do believe this price target down here, 24,800, is going to be an absolute magnet zone for the market. So that's really what I wanted to majorly update you on today. It's looking like we're getting this confirmation with the markets absolutely melting to the downside today. Bitcoin down about 3%. If we do come over to this weekly time frame chart, we have been discussing the similarities between this price structure over here and this price structure over here, comparing the double top that we had in the stochastic RSI during Bitcoin's all-time high. And it looks like we talked about in that video 2 days ago, we did finally have that bearish cross on the weekly time frame for that stochastic RSI, and what a surprise, we are melting to the downside. You can see we're down about 12.5% since we did notice this cross over on the stochastic RSI. We came right into this red resistance zone that we've been talking about on the channel for a while. You can see we've had tons of wicks all established within this range. Tiny bit of data traded, we reverted right back into this price, and this is also correlated with a double top in the stock, and we are absolutely melting to the downside right now. Now you can see within this support range, if we get rid of the stochastic RSI, this final wick down here at 28,000 was really your last line in the sand. And Bitcoin, no surprise, this is why when we come over to the 1 hour time frame, you can see we held this 28,000 zone for about 24 hours or so, all the way from Thursday to Friday evening when I'm recording my video right now. And as we've lost 28,000, a very significant price target, we've dropped almost $1,000 in the past 1-2 hours or so. So really we came right into this massive resistance cluster, and we're getting a major rejection. Now we're getting volume confirmation on this, we're getting confirmation from a lot of these chart patterns as we're breaking to the downside. This is why I really think we need to keep our eyes on 25,000. To be more precise, right here, 24,860 is the price target that I want you to keep your eyes on in the immediate short term. From where we are right now, that's about a 9.11% move. So yeah, that's really what I want to talk about. If we come over to the total cryptocurrency market cap, you can see we've also just had a brutal rejection from the 618 Fibonacci. We've also had a brutal rejection just beneath the 618 Fibonacci for the altcoin market. This is why we've been talking about on the channel how the Bitcoin dominance is looking very, very strong. A lot of people are calling for an altcoin season right now. I just really don't see that. The Bitcoin dominance looks very, very bullish to me. If we come over to the 4-hour time frame for the dominance, we are kind of just chopping around still. Nothing major to update since the last update on the dominance. I really see this bull flag playing out at this moment in time. You can see this has a percent target all the way up here for a 53% dominance for Bitcoin, about an 11.6% move away. So right now, I really see the Bitcoin dominance consolidating. I see Bitcoin being extremely bearish right now, absolutely melting through these price targets that we gave you in the previous video. And of course, I think we're going to quickly rush down to these price targets at 24,800. So for the altcoin market, that's probably going to correlate to an absolute landslide to the downside. Altcoins are looking extremely weak right now, in my opinion. So that's really the higher time frames. Of course, everything we've warned you about, this regular bearish divergence looks like it's snapping into fruition. You can see this regular bearish divergence. We've been making higher highs since the 21st of January. And over on the MFI down here, you know, we've been making lower lows. So everything is looking absolutely brutal right now. One other thing that I do want to talk about, if we get rid of, no, let's go over to a new chart. What I'll do is I'll load up the weekly time frame on a new chart. What you can see to the upside, of course, we've got Bitcoin, and to the downside we've got the on balance volume, also known as the OBV. So in terms of the total volume in the market, you can see it has been decreasing in the past few weeks or so. Now what you can see is there's a major top that happened over here, right here on the OBV, and the OBV has been making lower highs since then. We do have a downtrend currently happening in the OBV. I actually posted this chart over on Twitter. On some exchanges, we've made a double top. On most exchanges, we've made a lower high on the OBV. So what I really posted was that the Bitcoin weekly on balance volume has double topped with a lower high on most exchanges. And during this time, Bitcoin has pushed up 31%. And I refuse to be exit liquidity in this CZ market and to see you at 20k. Of course, 20k is a price target I have been mentioning with this major CME gap down here at 20,290, but in the immediate short term, of course, 24,860, we have to come through this price target before we come down to this major CME gap right at the 20,000 region. So this OBV divergence, where you've got highs in the price action, but you've got the OBV breaking down, price still breaking up 31%, is absolutely ridiculous. With that being said, this is just another major metric that I'm looking at, another major pattern letting us know that this divergence is not going to last for long, and this uptrend, as we're breaking to the downside right now, it is not looking healthy. This was not a healthy uptrend whatsoever, at least in my opinion. This is why 25,000 is a absolute magnet. So there we go. That's my price target. That's what I want you to focus on in the immediate short term. In the lower time frames, you can see the 1 hour. We are just absolutely melting to the downside. If I load up the EMA ribbons, get rid of all of the useless ones that we don't need, make this thicker, get rid of the 200, get this one over here. You can see we're really just in a brutal downtrend at this moment in time. If I move this over, there is, you know, the potentiality that we are still within this channel, and maybe over the weekend we could see a little bit of a bounce while the EMA ribbons catch up before potentially that next major move back down to the downside. Obviously in the lower time frames, you know, a bounce at some point is probably likely going to happen after this major meltdown today. Would I be saying that that's going to be a healthy bounce? No, I really think that's just a reset before we get that next momentum to the downside. So what I'm witnessing on the 1 hour time frame right now, 4 hour time frame as well, this looks beautiful, is really just us slowly channeling down to the downside over the weekend. I kind of just expect a little bit of chop before we get continuation. Maybe what I'll be doing on Sunday is updating a new chart pattern. If we do get some chop over the weekend, we might end up forming something like a bear flag or a bearish pennant after all of this major continuation. I'm not going to be trading over the weekends. I'm not going to be giving you an update on Saturday, unfortunately. So this is just a hypothetical. I do have a kendo tournament, which I am going to be fighting in tomorrow. So this will be my last Bitcoin update until Sunday. I will come back on Sunday and let you know what I'm currently thinking of these markets. But really, like I said, over the weekend, I kind of just expect a little bit of chop to the side, potentially forming some new bearish patterns. If we continue nuking though, you know, we might start seeing this $25,000 price target appear sooner rather than later. If we do have a bounce, I do not believe it's going to be a strong bounce. I believe it's going to be a bounce back up to resistance, potentially as high as 28,000. That would be really interesting if over the weekend we came back up and retested the bottom of 28,000, which if you remember from watching my videos, is this major resistance zone. On Sunday, of course, we'll come back and let you know what's happening with the weekly close. But if we close beneath 28,000 this week, it is going to be absolutely ugly. This will be a major retest and rejection on the weekly time frame. And in my opinion, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, 25k will be that magnet zone like I've been talking about. So for today, my friends, that's all I've got. As always, if you do enjoy my content, let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. If you also do want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button on my YouTube page and become a member today. Make sure to follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy. Twitter is really a great place where I can quickly post a lot of charts and opinions. If you do follow me over on Twitter, you will see a lot of posts like this that I do post from my trading view, which won't make it over to my YouTube for a little bit of time. I always do like to update my Twitter every now and then, so make sure to come and follow me over on Twitter. I post tons of things over here which don't always make it into my YouTube videos, and sometimes, like I said, these posts appear over on my Twitter before they appear over on my YouTube. So if you want more of my content, at 618_cowboy on Twitter. Make sure also to come and join the cowboy community. Head over to the Discord. If you head over to the About section on my YouTube, you can see my Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and official merch are all linked down below. Also, beware of scammers. There's been a lot of impersonators of me over on Discord, YouTube comment section, and Twitter. Bear in mind, I'll never ask you to do investments with me. I'll never DM you if you follow me over on Twitter. If you come and join the Discord, I will never send you a friend request, so be careful. There's a lot of fake cowboys out there. There's a lot of scammers in the comment section these days, so just be safe. As always, it's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.